Welcome, flight sim enthusiasts, and Merry Christmas! Welcome to a winter wonderland flight. We're going to be taking off from Crested Butte Regional Airport at 7,600 feet altitude, way up in the Rocky Mountains, and crossing over the 11,000 foot Rockies to drop down onto Denver International Airport for an exciting winter wonderland flight. And I'm so excited to bring it to you, mostly because the A320NX project is going so wonderfully well. The new mod has the ability to incorporate Simbrief into the flight planning, which I just, if you've worked with Simbrief, you know it's very realistic and it really kicks up the immersion level to a new degree. So let's get started. We are here in Simbrief. We have a new flight. We are Frontier Airlines flight number 43. Frontier is a regional carrier in the Rocky Mountains. I don't know if FRO is their actual three-letter designator, but I'm going to pretend it is. We're going from Kilo Golf Uniform Charlie, which is Gunnison Crested Butte Regional Airport, down to K Delta Echo November. Our alternate is Charlie, what is O? It's not Oscar. October Sierra. That's Colorado Springs Airport. We are in an A320 Neo. I'm not sure if the performance data for the Neo is represented in this flight planning, but we'll say it is. We want to choose, we don't want this route given to us. We want to choose the Hotel Bravo uniform transition to the Teller 2 route. Our performance calculator, you can use Simbrief in both pounds and kilos, and the aircraft is okay with pounds and kilos, but our performance calculator insists on kilos. So I'm going to go up here to units, and I'm going to make sure that it says kilos. And I also want to go to our performance calculator. I've given us a very light load, 168 passenger capacity. Notice we're flight number, well, it should be flight number 43, not flight number 42. We got to put in 43 there. Got to get it all correct. Who says pilots aren't anal? Anyway, flying from Kilo Golf Uniform Charlie. We have 2 flight crew members and 4 cabin crew members. We have 168 passenger capacity. Of that, 126 passengers. Low passenger demand, low baggage demand, no cargo. And our zero fuel weight is 54,182. 54.2 is our zero fuel weight. So we want to come down here to zero fuel weight on the Simbrief and load that 54.2. We want that to performance calculator to match what we give the airplane. There's 54.2. And should be okay. And let's push generate operational flight plan. Take a look at our routing. This will take us initially southwest. There's Gunnison to the lower left of your screen. This is in a large valley, and we need a valley to gain altitude before we turn back around to the northeast, climb over these 11,000 feet mountains. Then we'll be over the what's called the Front Range, and make a nice, easy descent into Denver. And the second best thing to live air traffic control I've found is a program that I enjoy called Pilot2ATC. So we'll be using it. If you don't necessarily want a person, but you want as close to the real thing as you can get, this program is very, very good. mentioned, we're going to get some snow, some winter wonderland. So I'd like to add a weather program I just acquired called Rex Weaterforce 2020. Which is going to be responsible for our snowstorm. So here in Pilot2ATC, ooh, listen to that thunder. Let's go to Flight Plan Import, and you can cut and paste this from Simbrief, or it's really easy to type in Kilo Golf Uniform Charlie space Kilo Delta Echo November. If you wanted to put in a waypoint, you can. No SIDS or stars. Just your departure and arrival airport and any routing information that you want to give. I'm not going to put any waypoint in because I know that the one waypoint that we do have, Hotel Bravo Uniform, is also the first fix on the approach. So I don't need to do that. There we go. No procedures out of Gunnison, but we do have a star for Denver. Actually, Denver is quite a complex airport. Look at all these arrival routes into Denver. But with 34 left as our runway, we want the Teller 2 arrival, which will bring us from the mountains down to the south of the airport. And we want the Hotel Bravo uniform transition. It's a VOR just south of Gunnison. And we will load that up. And now you can take a look at the routing on Simbrief and the routing on our air traffic control, and you can see they're identical. And here's the valley I mentioned. There's Gunnison to the right in the center of your screen. Southwest, using the valley to climb. Big sharp U-turn at Hotel Bravo uniform, and then we have enough altitude to get over the mountains. And a nice gradual straight-in approach for 34 left. So, boy, it doesn't get too much easier than that. Let's go back to that calculator. Now that we have our weight and balance all figured out, we can go to our takeoff performance data sheet. Our origin airport is Kilo Golf Uniform Charlie. It's 7,600 feet altitude. We're going to be using a flap setting of 2. We're going to leave the air conditioning packs on. We have ice is off. Runway is dry. We are going to be on runway 24. And we're going to take off with a flex takeoff, which will preserve the engine and also provide for noise abatement. Here you can see our V speeds, 133, 133, 135, and that will be good. Sometimes that flight simulator gets to be pretty loud. So we have an Airbus A320 Neo. Make sure the air traffic control options are correct. Frontier Airlines Flight 43, that's great. We are going to be taking off from one of the 2 gates. There's only 2 gates at this airport. It's uncontrolled. There's one of the gates. And I'm not going to fill in the arrival information. Probably the first time I've ever done that. Only artificial intelligence with us in the skies and preset weather to clear skies. But we're going to make it 6:15 in the morning. So not only are we going to get that snowstorm, but we're also going to get the approach of dawn. Christmas morning dawn flight with beautiful snowfall. That's what we're looking for. And let's go fly. A couple of other add-ons that we're going to enjoy are by a company called FS2 Crew. They have a program, A320 Flight Crew, which is going to provide me with a virtual co-pilot. She'll handle the radios and she'll handle some of the procedural checklists. And then also there's a program called Pushback Express, which will handle some of the ground work and give us a realistic pushback. All of these external programs require a bridge, and the bridge, if you've been in flight simming, you know that it's called FSUIPC. The current version is number 7, and it's written for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. So we'll get the flight simulator up and running. We'll get our weather going. Here we can go to dynamic weather presets. We can choose winter storm, and we'll put that off to the side. Here's our aircraft, nice and cold and dark. And when I say cold and dark, I mean really cold and really dark. The beautiful clear skies, that'll change. Green grass, that'll change. We're going to get some snowfall. We're going to get a full winter wonderland. Let's establish that connection or that bridge. Here comes the A320 flight crew. Push that off to the side. And here comes Pushback Express. Oh, there's a fire truck. I love fire trucks. We need some power on this airplane. So how about some external power? And let's attach the jet bridge. And let's keep the baggage started. And it's not going to snow unless we let it snow, so let's start the weather synthesis. And the great thing about Weaterforce is it won't hit you with the weather right away. The weather will slowly creep up on you, just as it does in real life. That's that old Microsoft saying, as real as it gets, is the way Microsoft used to market their product back in the early days. So here we are on the airplane. This new mod has a flashlight, and one thing I've learned about the flashlight is as soon as you start on external power or touch the batteries, you lose the flashlight. So it's a really good idea to go around the airplane and turn on every rheostat you can find. Get all the lights turned up before you connect that battery. And believe me, with the old, before the mod came around, I was very accustomed to stumbling around looking for light rheostats that I could spin on and get some cabin lighting. So just take a moment, turn on every light that you can find. Another thing is, in the previous mod, the camera went to the lower overhead. Now this mod allows you to also go to the upper overhead. I'm not sure exactly how to do it. There it is. There's the upper overhead. Not used near as much as the lower overhead, but still used. Oh. Well, I seem to have lost my lights, but I think I have most of them. So let's get on that external power, turn the battery switches on. Listen for the air conditioning, cooling fans. Arm the emergency exits. That way our cabin crew knows how to get out of this plane in case there's an emergency. Speaking of cabin crew, here comes one of our cabin crew now.
Let's start setting up.
Okay.
There she goes. She's going to start setting up in the back. Let's get the cabin up to temperature. Get the INS started, the Inertia Navigation System, or what is known as the ADIRS. We're going to do the Apu Fire Test. I'm going to be using the Apu pretty quickly. Cargo smoke test. Don't have any cargo today, but always good to test it. Crew oxygen supply on. We'll get the beacon on. Turn the strobe to auto. And that's not necessarily turn the strobe on. Nav 1 and Nav 2 are actually identical. They're just redundancies of each other. So it doesn't matter which one you turn on. I'm going to turn on the no smoking sign and the seatbelt sign. We're going to have our passengers aboard here pretty darn fast. So let's go down to the meat and potatoes of our time together and figure out the new way of getting Simbrief into the McDo. So what I'd like to do, first thing, let's go to the data page. Aircraft status, check out to make sure that we've got a LEAP 1A 26 engines. That's true. We have good database for our navigation. That's current. Our backup is expired, but that's okay because it's the backup. Go to initialization. We are flying from Kilo Golf Uniform Charlie. Flying to Kilo Delta Echo November. Cost index is 85. No higher than flight level 270. Okay, we're going to get our zero fuel weight and our zero center of gravity from our Simbrief. Departure from Gunnison is going to be on runway 24, no sensor stars. Arrival into Denver is going to be on runway 34 left. And I don't like boss. I really don't like boss. Boss makes us take a bit of a hook maneuver. Choose the powder one. The teller transition and HBU via the HBU. Okay, that looks good. Now, to make sure that that's what we want, I don't think our ILS is aligned quite yet. Nope, it's not aligned quite yet, but when it is, we'll step through the routing to make sure that's correct. Let's go back. Let's get to that McDo menu, and I want to go to ATSU, and then to AOC, and then to Performance, Weight, and Balance. And I'm going to request that operational flight plan data that we made at Simbrief. And we have it. Block fuel, taxi fuel, trip fuel, payload, forward, rear, passenger load. Here I need to remember these numbers, 113.4 and 30.0. I'm going to go into my initialization screen, second page, 113.4. Oops. / 30.0, which is our center of gravity. Fuel planning, I'm going to grab the block fuel from our fuel planning and confirm it. And all these fields are now filled in. That's exactly what we wanted to see. So we'll go to our performance data, and you remember that flight calculator that we used? We'll go back to that. And we have our V speeds of 133, 133, 135, and a flex temperature of 57. Flaps number 2, and our THS is going to be down 0.0. Which is the same as up 0.0. Oops. Transition altitude of flight level 180. Let's go check out and see if that INS is aligned yet. Nope, not quite yet. Okay, let's go and fire up the APU. I have a feeling we're going to get our passengers boarding here pretty fast. Let's do our engine fire tests. We're going to need those here in just not too long. Turn on our fuel pumps. Here's our APU firing up. Hit max brakes up here. I'm also going to arm the spoilers. Speed brakes. Oh, we just got our INS lined up. Or IRS, Inertia Reference System. And the APU is now available. So we will go off of ground power. And I'll tell the unit that he's no longer needed. We still have external power available because I believe it's also coming from the jet bridge, and that'll go away once the jet bridge detaches. Our virtual co-pilot has just arrived, so let's start some checks.
Before start checklist.
Cockpit prep.
Completed.
Completed. Gear pins and covers.
Removed.
Signs.
On and auto.
Adheres.
Nav.
Fuel quantity.
Set.
Takeoff data.
Set.
Barrel ref.
2992. Set.
2992. Set. Down to the line.
Hi, the security and safety check are all done. Are we good to start boarding?
Yes, you can start boarding.
Okay.
Here come the folks. Flight deck to ground. Flight deck to ground.
Go ahead, flight deck.
We will be ready shortly.
Okay, I wait.
Confirm all ground checks are complete and we're cleared to pressurize the hydraulics.
Outside check is completed, all doors and panels are closed, no issues found. You can pressurize your hydraulics anytime now.
Thank you. Let's get our clearance.
Weather is not currently available for Gunnison crested but red. Arriving and departing runway 24. Weather is not currently available for Gunnison crested but red. Arriving and departing runway 24. Weather is not currently available for Gunnison crested but red. Arriving and departing runway 24. Weather is not currently available for Gunnison crested but red. Arriving and departing runway 24. Weather is not currently available for Gunnison crested but red. Arriving and departing runway 24. Weather is not currently available for Gunnison crested but red. Arriving and departing runway 24. Weather is not currently available for Gunnison crested but red. Arriving and departing runway 24. Weather is not currently available for Gunnison crested but red. Arriving and departing runway 24. Weather is not currently available for Gunnison crested but red. Arriving and departing runway 24. Weather is not currently available for Gunnison crested but red. Arriving and departing runway 24. Weather is not currently available for Gunnison crested but red. Arriving and departing runway 24. Weather is not currently available for Gunnison crested but red. Arriving and departing runway 24. Weather is not currently available for Gunnison crested but red. Arriving and departing runway.
Denver Center, Frontier 4-3, ready to copy.
Frontier 4-3, we don't have a flight plan on file for you.
Oh, that's because I need to push validate and I need to push file. Now you should have a flight plan coming pretty soon. There you go. And notice it also gives me my hold. If I should go missed approach, it puts me in the hold. And my Colorado Springs Airport is down in this area if we need to divert. Denver Center, Frontier 43, ready to copy.
Frontier 43 is cleared to Kilo Delta Echo November as filed. Expect departure runway 24. Climb and maintain 12,000 feet. Expect higher clearances 2 minutes after departure. Squawk 4524.
Frontier 43 is cleared to Kilo Delta Echo November as filed. Climb and maintain 12,000 feet. Expect higher clearances 2 minutes after departure. Squawk 4524.
Frontier 43 read back correct. Contact us for IFR release when number 1 for departure.
We'll contact you for IFR release. Frontier 43.
One of my frustrations is this camera system. I'm hoping some aftermarket person comes up with a better camera system so we don't have to dance around the controls quite so much. I noticed that we have a little, look at the clouds in the sky. We used to have perfectly clear skies, and now we have some clouds. And if you look closely, you'll notice that the ground has a little snow on it. I believe that snow is coming. Virginia, there really is a Christmas. Oh. Nice picture of Blanco, too. Blanco, our mascot bear.
Weather is not currently available for Gunnison crested but red. Arriving and departing runway.
No.
Hi guys, here's the load sheet for you.
Thanks.
No problem, have a safe flight.
Now that we have the load sheet, we can lock the door.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board today. As you locate your assigned seats, please place your smaller items under the seat in front of you to provide more room for larger items in our overhead compartment. If you need assistance, contact your flight attendant. If you are unable to accommodate any item in the cabin, please bring it to the boarding door and we will check it for you. Also, review the safety instruction card in your seat pocket. If you are
Oh, look at the snow! Snow, snow, snow! So far, I'm loving this weather program. Yes. We need to beat this storm.
Hey guys, are we clear to close?
Yes.
Thanks. Let me know if you need anything.
Jet bridge is away. Doors are all closed. Let's continue our checklist.
Below the line.
Windows and doors.
Closed.
Closed. Beacon.
On.
Thrust levers.
Idle.
Parking brake.
On.
Before start, checklist complete.
Let's get our pushback. Ground, we are ready for pushback and engine start.
Understood. Release the parking brakes, please.
Brakes released.
Pushing back.
This aircraft, you can actually start both engines at the same time, but I guess I'm just used to one at a time, so that's all I ever do. Move to flaps 2.
The push is complete, please set the brakes.
Flaps 2, which is our takeoff position for the flaps. Brake set.
Understood. Okay, ground equipment is removed. The pin is out. Good engine starts from my side. I'll see you on the left hand side.
Thanks, and you can disconnect and go to hand signals.
Thanks, have a good flight, and we'll see you later.
We can go off of APU.
Starting engine 2. Starting engine 1. After start checklist.
Anti-ice.
Set.
ECAM status.
Check.
Pitch trim.
38% set.
Rudder trim.
0.
After start checklist
Ladies and
complete.
gentlemen, welcome on board our flight today.
Flight control check.
Flight attendant speaking. Please
Roll
direct your
down.
attention to the cabin crew for important safety and
Full up.
precautions. There is an instruction card
Neutral.
in your seat pocket
Full
that
right.
illustrates safety equipment on this aircraft.
Full left. Neutral.
Rudder.
Regulations require
Full right.
compliance with this information as well as all crew
Full left.
instructions.
Neutral.
Now it's time for her to check her side.
Posted placards. Fasten your seatbelt by inserting the metal tip into the buckle. Tighten by pulling on the belt. To release your seatbelt, flip the metal flap on the buckle. It is our policy that you keep your seatbelt fastened at
Clear
all
left
times
side.
while
Clear right
flying.
side.
Doors are clearly marked with exit signs and instructions for door operation. Each door is equipped with an escape slide. Locate the exit nearest you. The nearest exit may be behind you. In an emergency, lights will illuminate the aisle. The cabin is pressurized. If there is a loss of cabin pressure, a panel will open and oxygen mask will
Brake
appear.
check.
Pressure 0.
Stay seated with your seatbelt fastened and pull a mask towards you to start the flow of oxygen. Oxygen will be flowing to the mask even though the bag may not inflate. Cover your nose and mouth with the mask, place the elastic band around your head, and tighten by pulling on the end. Secure your own mask before assisting others. Your seat bottom cushion may be used as a flotation device. Pull up and remove the cushion. Upon exiting the aircraft, place your arms around the cushion and hold on to the straps located on the back. This is a non-smoking flight. Smoking is not permitted in the cabin or lavatory. Cabin lights will now be turned off. Reading light buttons are located above your seat. Thank you for your attention.
Those taxi assist lights, this is the first time I've seen them. I must have somehow hit a setting somewhere. I mean, it's nice to have them at a big, complicated airport, but this airport, certainly you don't need them. Just look at your heading indicator, and that'll give you an idea of what end you ought to point the nose when you want a particular runway for takeoff. I still have the snow. Look at that. It's so dynamic. It's got a bit of a 3D effect. Now I'm going to have to figure out what switch I hit to make those taxi guidance come up, because I don't like it. It detracts from the experience. I did notice we're getting just a twinge of sunrise. Wonder what Denver's going to look like with all the snow. We're even getting snow in the trees. Denver Center, Frontier Fort Tree, ready for IFR release, runway 24. Denver Center, Frontier 4 Tree, ready for IFR release, runway 24. Denver Center, Frontier 4 Tree, ready for IFR release, runway 24.
Frontier 4-3, you are released for departure. Runway 24 after takeoff, turn left to heading 184, then proceed direct Hotel Bravo uniform, climb and maintain 2000 feet. Release for departure void at 2307 Zulu. Advise with alternate intentions no later than 2312 Zulu. Time now is 23:00 Zulu.
Frontier 43 released for departure runway 24 after takeoff, turn left to heading 184, then direct Hotel Bravo uniform, climb and maintain 2000 feet. Release for departure void at 2307 Zulu.
Frontier 43 read back correct. Contact us when airborne.
Wilco Frontier 43.
Before takeoff checklist.
Flight controls.
Check.
Check. Flight instruments.
Check.
Check. Briefing.
Confirm.
Flap setting.
Config 1 plus F.
Config 1 plus F. V1. VR. V2. Flex temp.
V1 1 3 2 VR 1 3 5 V2 1 4 0
V1 1 3 2 VR 1 3 5 V2 1 4 0 ATC.
Set.
ECAM memo.
Takeoff. No blue.
Down to the line.
Below the line.
Cabin crew, be seated for takeoff. Takeoff runway.
Confirm.
Confirmed. Cabin crew.
Advised.
Engine mode selector.
Normal.
Pack.
On.
Before takeoff checklist complete.
Ready.
Ready.
Takeoff. Man flex SRS runway autothrust crew.
Check. Thrust set.
Check.
V1. Rotate. Positive climb.
Gear up.
Gear up.
Flap 0.
Speed check. Flap 0.
After takeoff, climb checklist.
Landing gear.
Up.
Flaps.
Retractor.
Pack.
On.
Down to the line.
Below the line.
Barrel ref.
Standard set.
Standard set. After takeoff checklist complete.
Denver Center, Frontier 43 with you climbing flight level 120.
Frontier
AP1.
43 climb and maintain 17,000 feet.
Climb and maintain 17,000 feet. Frontier 43.
Frontier 43 good morning. Squawk 4524.
Squawk 4524. Frontier 43.
Frontier 43 radar contact. Frontier 43 expect the Delta 2 arrival with the HBU transition for the ILS approach to runway 34 left with the Delta transition at Denver International.
Expect the teller to arrival with the HBU transition for the ILS approach to runway 34 left with the teller transition Frontier 43.
Frontier 43 descend via the teller to arrival with the HBU transition to 1000 feet altimeter 299er2 at Gunnison Crested Butte RTGL.
Descent via the teller to arrival with the HBU transition to 1000 feet altimeter 299er2 Frontier 43.
Frontier 43 maintain 1000 feet.
Denver Center, Frontier 43, request flight level 270.
Frontier 43 climb and maintain flight level 270.
Climb and maintain flight level 270 Frontier 43.
Frontier 43 you are off course. Turn left heading 018 to return to course.
Heading 018 Frontier 43.
Didn't hit the chronometer, so we took off. I was supposed to start that clock. Remember the old The Right Stuff and all those astronaut movies? And the clock is operating. That's always a tradition in aviation. Take off and start the clock. That's good to calculate fuel consumption and performance. Wow, what a sunrise! Woo-wee! Look at the snow.
Frontier 43 contact Denver Center on 119.85. Enjoy your morning.
Center on 119.85 Frontier 43. Center Frontier 43 climbing to flight level 270.
Frontier 43 good morning. Radar contact.
Look at the ice starting to build on our airplane. Almost as soon as we took off, we got an anti-ice warning. Oh, Blanco's a real polar bear now. Oh, look at the city down in the valley. I love the uneven distribution of the snow as well.
You have control.
I have control.
Frontier 43, you are off course. Turn left heading 028 to return to course.
Heading 028 Frontier 43.
I think this controller is too picky. I can't be that far off course. Ha ha ha! This controller is too demanding. Here's our procedure. If we were in a Boeing aircraft, we would have to set in our course and our frequency up here in the upper left corner, 111.9, and the course is 353. But because we're in an Airbus, all that is taken care of for us. So all we need to do is mostly worry about our speed and our vertical descent profile. Yeah, Airbus makes flying a dream, although I tell you, I'm still always a little more comfortable in Boeing. I don't know why. The Boeing 737 Zebo is the best flight sim airplane there is. Center, Frontier 4 tree, request flight level 170.
Frontier 4-3 descend and maintain 17,000 feet altimeter not currently available.
Descend and maintain 17,000 feet altimeter not currently available. Frontier 4-3.
Contact Denver Center on 128.37. Enjoy your morning.
Heading 028 center on 128.37 Frontier 4-3. Center Frontier 4-3 at flight level 270.
Frontier 4-3, good morning. Radar contact. Frontier 4-3, you are off course. Turn left heading 027 to return to course.
Heading 027 Frontier 4-3.
Frontier 4-3 slow to 250 knots or less.
We'll go Frontier 4-3.
Denver Center, Frontier 4-3, request flight level 010.
Frontier 4-3 negative. Your requested altitude is below the minimum for your route. Descend and maintain 13,000 feet.
Descend and maintain 13,000 feet Frontier 4-3.
I meant 110, not 010.
Frontier 4-3 slow to 250 knots or less.
We'll go Frontier 4-3.
I have control.
You have control.
Approach checklist.
Briefing.
Confirmed.
ECAM status.
Check.
Barrel ref.
2992. Set.
2992. Set. Minimum.
Set.
Set. Engine mode selector.
Normal.
Approach
Frontier
checklist complete.
43 contact Denver approach on
Laps one.
Check the speed.
120.35. Enjoy your morning.
Approach on 120.35 Frontier 43.
Cabin crew,
Approach
prepare for
Frontier
arrival.
43 descending to 13,000 feet.
Frontier 43, good morning. Radar contact. Continue descent via the tail to arrival. For the hills approach to runway 34 left with the tail transition at Denver International.
Continue descent via the Teller to arrival. For the ILS approach to runway 34 left with the Teller transition Frontier 43.
Frontier 43 slow to 250 knots or less.
We'll go Frontier 43.
Denver Center, Frontier 43, request flight level 10010.
Frontier 43 altimeter to 992 clear for the hills approach to runway 34 left with the tail transition at Denver International, descent and maintain 1,000 feet.
Altimeter 2992 cleared for the ILS approach to runway 34 left with the Teller transition descent and maintain 1,000 feet Frontier 43.
Frontier 43 descend via the tail transition to 1,000 feet.
Descent to 1,000 feet via the Teller transition. Frontier 43.
Frontier 43 slow to 210 knots or less.
We'll go Frontier 43.
Frontier 43 slow to 210 knots or less.
We'll go Frontier 43.
Frontier 43 altimeter to 992 at Denver International contact tower on 128.75. Have a good morning.
Altimeter 2992 tower on 128.75 Frontier 43. Tower Frontier 43 inbound for ILS approach runway 34 left.
Frontier 43, good morning. Radar contact. Continue ILS to runway 34 left, call when established on final.
Continue ILS to runway 34 left will call when established on final Frontier 43.
Frontier 43 slow to 210 knots or less.
We'll go Frontier 43.
ghosts in the
You have
windscreen.
traffic at 12 o'clock, 10 miles at 5,500 feet.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be arriving at our destination shortly. If you are making a connection to another flight, please see the customer service agent meeting this flight or video monitors inside the terminal for connected gate information. For your
We'll go
convenience,
Frontier
safety,
4-3.
flight attendants will now walk through the cabin to secure us for landing. We'll be collecting all service items, newspapers, and any other items you wish to discard or may not be taking off the aircraft with you. Also, in preparation for landing, please turn off all electronic devices, stow these devices, and all other carry-on items. Please use caution when opening overhead bins as items may have shifted during our flight. Please stow your tray tables and return your seats to their upright position and check the security of your seatbelts. We will be landing shortly. Thank you.
Frontier 4-3, you have traffic at 1 o'clock, 7 miles at 5,500 feet.
Check.
Frontier 4-3, you have traffic
Check.
at 1 o'clock, 4 miles at 5,500 feet.
Denver Tower, Frontier 4-3 on final.
Frontier 4-3, wings are clear to land runway 34 left.
Too low,
Clear to
terrain.
land runway 34
Too low,
left,
terrain.
Frontier 4-3.
Too low, terrain. 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 Too low, terrain.
Retard.
Frontier 4-3, exit runway 18.
Look at these snowy runways. Boy, I really botched that landing, huh? Oh well. It was fun. Not sure where the taxiway is. Well, that's probably not it. Well, Chief Pilot's going to have my butt. Yeah, why call the crash crew when you can just visit the crash crew? There's the terminal. I don't know if slipperiness is modeled. They're having a good time slipping around this airport. Denver is the home of Frontier Airlines. I'm sure a good number of my buddies are going to be here to laugh at my landing and taxi.
Arriving and departing runway 34 right, 35 left, 35 right, 34 left. Weather is not currently available for Denver International. Arriving and departing runway 34 right, 35 left, 35 right, 34 left. Weather is not currently available for Denver International. Arriving and departing runway 34 right, 35 left, 35 right, 34 left. Weather is not currently available for Denver International. Arriving and departing runway 34 right, 35 left, 35 right, 34 left. Weather is not currently available for Denver International. Arriving and departing runway 34 right, 35 left, 35 right, 34 left. Weather is not currently available for Denver International. Arriving and departing runway 34 right, 35 left, 35 right, 34 left. Weather is not currently available for Denver International.
Thanks for joining me today, folks. I hope you got something out of that. Have a great day. Bye.
35 left, 35 right, 34 left.